Welcome to Summit Waters Life's Kids Church online service. It is my honor today that I get to share the lesson with you guys. But before we get started, I would like to pray for a moment. Father God, thank you for this technology that we get to still have church service, Father, even though we're not physically connected, Father God, but we're connected through media. And I just pray, Father God, that the kids get encouraged and they just listen and hear what you have to say to them this morning. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Today we're going to learn that God is encouraging, which means that God helps us feel better when we're worried and afraid, and He helps us to know that everything is going to be okay. We can find our lesson in Acts 27. Paul and some other prisoners were handed over to a man named Julius, who was a Roman commander. They boarded a ship and they were headed to Rome. After a day of traveling, they landed at Sidon. Julius was kind to Paul and allowed him to go to his friends so they could take care of his needs, like giving him some bread and bandaging his wound. That same day, Paul got back onto the boat and it sailed some more. This time, some strong winds started blowing. The winds blew so strongly that the people could not make the boat go where they wanted it to go. Then they docked at a new place, and the soldiers moved the prisoners to a new boat that was heading where they needed to go. Being on a new boat seemed scary, and they didn't even get to decide on where they were going. But God is encouraging, and God was with them. And for several days, the sailing was fine. But a strong wind started to blow again, and the weather got worse and worse. Paul told the captain,
"There's trouble ahead. If we keep going, we'll wreck the boat."
but the captain didn't listen, and they kept going. And it became even more windy and even more wavy. The sailors threw all their things overboard to make the boat lighter so it wouldn't sink. The crew on the boat were worried and they didn't eat for days. The storm lasted for 14 days. Paul encouraged everyone by saying,
"God is with us, and He is going to keep us safe."
God even sent an angel to Paul who told him,
"Don't worry."
And Paul used the courage God gave him to encourage the others. The sailors decided to drop an anchor into the water to see how deep the water was. The water was getting shallower, so they threw 4 anchors out of the boat on the other side to try to slow the boat down. Paul reminded everyone that they'd been so worried that they hadn't eaten any food, so he broke bread and thanked God for it, and he shared some with everyone. By sharing food, Paul encouraged them in the same way that God is encouraging. By the morning, they realized they were near some land, so they cut the anchors that were holding them back. But then they hit some sand under the water. The waves crashed against them, and the boat began to break apart. So some people jumped overboard and swam to shore. Others floated on pieces from the broken boat. They made it to shore safely. Everyone was okay, just as Paul had said. God was with them, and God encourages us to believe that He is always with us too. What a neat story that we just learned, and how God is always with us and how He encourages us, even through difficult times, that He's always there, and that we just need to realize that we just need to stay encouraged, and then in the end, everything will be okay. We have this craft for you guys to do, and this is a list of encouraging words, and this is kind of challenging to come up with an idea to just look at these words and try to make a sentence. This is kind of my craft that I did, and I did like a little heart, and I put God is encouraging. And from this list right here, I just cut it out and I glued a little sentence for you. And I wanted you guys to think of this today as you go throughout your day. And I put, Jesus watches over you and He will keep you safe. And I think that's such an important message right now because of everything that we're going through with the tough times of not being able to go to school and not being able to hang out and play with your friends. So I challenge you to come up with something very creative with the list of words that were given. And it only takes a couple of minutes. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye!